Welcome back, folks. It's Thursday, June 8th, 2023. Born on this date in 1943, the late Willie Davenport of Troy. He won the gold in the 110-meter hurdles during the 1968 Olympics. Now let's talk Canadian smoke, Gulf Coast bacteria, a SpaceCom update, and a vigil for a high school kid. My name's Ike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. With all the smoke from the Canadian wildfires blanketing New York City, the National Weather Service says that some of that haze from Canada started moving into Alabama yesterday, reports AL.com's Howard Koplowitz. Now, don't expect us to see anything like what you've been seeing in images from the northeastern cities. Obviously, they're having a rough time, but we'll have enough haze to ding our air quality index a few points. If you're in central or northern Alabama, and especially if you have asthma or another lung condition, you might try to limit the amount of time you spend outdoors and avoid strenuous activities unless the air quality improves. Now, air quality is expected to be in the moderate range today in Huntsville and Birmingham. Now, I realize it might be difficult to talk your youngins into staying inside and playing video games for an afternoon, but it's good to exercise tough love. Mobile is managing to avoid the air quality concerns with a good forecast for today, so don't say we don't share positive news. On an unrelated note, the CDC has announced a new deadly bacteria that's endemic to the Gulf Coast, reports AL.com's Warren Kulak. We practice geographical equity in our health scare news here down in Alabama. The Mississippi Department of Health has discovered the bacteria in the environment on the Gulf Coast for the first time ever. All other previous U.S. cases were the result of international travel. But after 3 cases were discovered since 2020, researchers took soil and water samples and were able to find the bacteria. Now, before you pack up and move to Green Bay, note that statistic where I said 3 cases since 2020, and none of those cases were fatal. Still, health officials have said that infections are possible from Texas to Florida, and if you have a map handy, you'll know that includes the Alabama Gulf Coast. Now, most folks who get the disease will develop antibodies, but at-risk patients should pay attention. The CDC puts the mortality rate of melioidosis at somewhere between 10 and 50%. Alabama's congressional delegation received some pretty key support Wednesday regarding the placement of the U.S. Space Command headquarters, according to a couple of the delegation's members. AL.com's Lee Root reports that according to U.S. Senator Katie Britt, U.S. Space Command Commanding General James Dickinson said in a meeting that, quote, the headquarters of U.S. Space Command belongs on Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. A recent NBC News report has added to fears in Alabama that the Biden administration would force a reversal of the decision to place SpaceCom in Huntsville. Congressman Dale Strong, a Huntsville Republican, was also at that meeting. Quote, I was assured by him that he couldn't envision any circumstance where he wouldn't recommend Huntsville as the permanent SpaceCom HQ. Reports on the potential reversal have pointed towards SpaceCom staying permanently at what has been its temporary home in Colorado Springs. And some sources have said the government doesn't want to move to Alabama because of our abortion ban. Well, we know that Colorado lawmakers have pushed the White House to reconsider moving to Alabama, but also this week the Colorado Republican Party sent a letter to the White House asking Biden to go ahead and move to Alabama, quote, if the main driving force to keep Space Command is Colorado's unfettered abortion laws. Hundreds gathered for a vigil Wednesday in Trussville after a high school student was injured by a thunderstorm that blew through on Tuesday, reports AL.com's Greg Garrison. Grayson Pope was at Trussville Country Club playing a round of golf with 3 of his baseball teammates when a tree fell on his golf cart. One of the teammates was actually in the cart with him and ran for help. Pope was knocked unconscious and had a cut on his head, his friends said, and an ambulance took him to UAB Hospital. The vigil and related Facebook page urged people to pray for Gray, and through social media, that's what thousands in Trussville and more around the country are doing, and we join them in that. Thank y'all so much for listening. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Until then, y'all come on by and see us on the World Wide Web at al.com.